Hi everyone, for math, today we are going to take a look at maps a little bit more. So yesterday we started kind of learning the basics about maps, but today we are going to continue to dive into it a little bit deeper. So I have a map here, and this map is of Canada. It's of where we live. So we live in Ontario, which is around here. This is the purple one. And we live around this area over here. We're very, very, very close to the United States. But grade 1, there are so many things to learn about maps, and they're very, very interesting, but we're going to kind of just scratch the surface of it. So if we were looking at a globe like we have in our classroom, a globe is like the round one that we had by our library. It has lines that go up and down and lines that go around as well. They go sideways as well. So those lines are called the longitude and the latitude, which kind of just means like the up and down and the sideways, right? So when we have a map, we kind of see very similar things. So you might not be able to see it that well on this map here. They're very light blue, but they have the same lines that tell us the kind of the longitude and the latitude lines. Now those lines are used to find coordinates sometimes. So a coordinate is, I'm not sure if you remember, but it's where we can find things, like the location of things. So in our maps yesterday, our coordinates were like B5 or A2. They had a letter and a number. But in maps, like real life maps, coordinates have two sets of numbers. So it could be like 75 point something 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 and 128 point something 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 as well. So it looks a little bit different than it did in our maps yesterday. Now in a real map, there are a couple of other things that we see that we didn't see yesterday either. The first thing is this right here. So we have a compass on that map. And a compass just tells us really what direction things are in. So you've heard of north, south, west, and east before. This is that. It tells us that if we go up, we're going north. If we go east, we're going this way. If we're going south, we're going down. And if we're going west, we're going over that way. So there are lots and lots of different ways that we can remember our compass and which way is north and which way is south and so on. So one way is when we look at our compass, we start with north up top and go around. So there's a couple of different sayings we could use. The first one is never eat shredded wheat, or we could say never eat soggy waffles. Those are a couple of them. I'm sure maybe your mom and dad know a couple more as well. Another thing that our map has today that our map didn't have yesterday is something called a legend. So it's right here. It's a little bit hard to see, but there are different lines on here and different symbols on here that we'll find anywhere on the map. So if we were to come around here and we saw a really big black dot, we would want to know, what does that mean? What is it showing us on the map? We could look over here and find that it means that it has a population greater than 1 million people. That is a lot of people. Another thing that's interesting on our map today that you'll see in your work today as well is a scale. So this map here fits on my wall. If we were to really look at Canada in real life, of course it would not fit on my wall. I'm in Canada. Canada can't be inside this room. So there is something called a scale scale, which means that everything's brought down to be smaller than it actually is. So for this one here, it says that the scale is 1 centimeter equals 60.5 kilometers. So 1 teeny tiny centimeter, like the width of your fingernail, really means 60 kilometers, which is like kind of traveling, like driving for an hour away. It is really cool to learn about maps, especially if you enjoy camping or going on different adventures and stuff like that. Maybe you have a GPS. Lots and lots of people have GPS on their phones now, so they can tell where they are in a certain place. So maybe if you're lost, a map will help you find your way, or a GPS could also help you find your way. And that's why it's important to learn a little bit, at least, about maps. So what I want to do is get you to open up your textbook to page 305 and 306 today. We are in lesson 10.11. We have a map here. Now, a lot of the time, maps will also have a title. Our title is in the middle of our map. It says Canada. This title is right up here, just like our grid. There are some instructions for you on the bottom here. I will read them for you, but I want you to try and figure it out for yourselves, but you can ask for help from mom and dad or a brother or sister if you need to. So the first one says, write the title of the map. I want you to try and find the title and write it out. You'll know how to spell it because it is written on this page. Try and make sure that you use proper capitals and lowercase letters. So the next one says, circle the compass rose. So a compass rose is just a compass. That's what tells us the directions. Draw a rectangle around the scale. So this neighborhood, of course, isn't just the size of this paper. This neighborhood would be huge. And the scale is what tells us 1 centimeter, or 1 inch, or 1 foot equals a bigger distance. Next it says, how many feet does the bus have to drive to get to the school? So find the bus, and then you have to try and find this school. You're going to need your ruler to measure it, and then look at the scale. Whatever that distance is, try and write it out for each inch. So this scale is 1 inch equals 40 feet. So measure 1 inch, write the 40 feet. Measure the other inch, write the 40 feet, and tell me how many feet the bus has to go. So is Nancy's house east or west of Nelson's house? You're going to have to find both Nelson and Nancy's houses and decide, hopefully using your compass, if it is east or not. East or west. So you're going to write east or west on that line. The next one is the gas station north or south of the bus? So find that bus again. Decide, is the gas station south or north or south of the bus? If the gas station was north, it would be above the bus. If it was south, it would be below the bus. And then I would like you to turn the page. Here we have a campground map. Maybe you've seen one before at different campgrounds that you guys have been at. Here we just have some yes or no questions about the map. So this one says, there are 4 big tent sites. Well, we're going to have to look at our key to help us find, or our legend. A key could also be called a legend, and a legend could be called a key. It's the same thing. We're going to have to find which symbol is the big tent site symbol. So this one says office, this one says cabin. The purple triangles are small tent sites, but the green ones are big tent sites. So we need to count how many green triangles there are. And it's saying there are 4 big tent sites. So if that is true, circle yes. And if it is not true, circle no. Then we'll continue on. There are 2 big tent sites. Circle yes or no if you agree or not. Cabins are on both sides of the river. Find which symbol means cabin and decide, is that true? Yes or no? The next one says the office is west of the pond. So here we're going to need to take a look at our compass and our key. Try and find the office symbol. Find the office on the map and decide, is it west? So is it farther this way than the pond or not? The big tent sites are north of the river is the next one. The pond is south of the cabins. And last, choose a cabin or tent site. Label it my spot. So you're going to pretend that you're camping. Try and decide which one you think would be the best campsite to camp at and label it yours. After that, you have done your work for today. See you later.